Okay, hey everybody, welcome to our first Aspire Zoom chat. I'm excited at the opportunity to connect with as many people as possible through this avenue since we can't necessarily be in person. But I wanted to start out by just giving you a little bit of information on what we do at Aspire. In case you're new to the program or in case you're just watching this off of someone's Facebook or whatever, we just hope that we can be helpful to you. So basically in Aspire, what we do is we mentor high school age students and help them through the process of, planning for their post high school education or life, therefore after school. Really spend a lot of time just asking questions, connecting with the students and finding out what it is they need to answer questions, find the things that they want, stay excited about the process of high school and their life they're building for after, and just be that extra sounding board for helping them find the things that they need to find. So anyways, my name is Lisa and I'm the Aspire coordinator for Hidden Valley, and one of your trainers today is going to be Carla Carter, and she is the career I don't even know, Carla, what all do you do at the high school? I can't even list all the things.
Career in college advocate. So I'm here to help students figure out what they want to do after high school and how to get there.
Perfect. And so contrary to what sometimes people think, we're not just college people. We are, every avenue. And on these chats, what you're going to find is we're going to cover, university, we're going to cover community college, we're going to cover trades, we're going to cover certificate programs, students that just want to go straight to the workforce, pretty much all those things and everything in between. Is the things that we're going to cover as far as information for you. And those are all things that we can help support the students with in the time that we spend mentoring for them. So as always, we're always looking for volunteers. So if you have a few moments and you can possibly be of help to any students, we would love to have you. And I actually have a little quote on that because I'm going to bring it up for you. It says, helping one person might not change the whole world, but it could change the world for one person. And so I always tell people, even if you could only talk to one kid, like mentor one kid in the program, it's worth the time that you would spend, and we would love to have you. And you'd really be surprised at how quickly you can make a difference for a lot of kids too, if you have a little extra time. So if you know of anybody or you yourself, you don't have to know anything to do this, because really all the kids need is someone to listen, someone to share their dreams with, and someone to help point them in the right direction. And you have us to help you point them in the right direction. So let's see. We'll accept and mentor students anywhere. So just because we're Hidden Valley affiliated doesn't necessarily mean anything. We're community people and community minded, and we're here to help whoever needs the help. So make sure you share us around. And our goal with these weekly chats is to give you information in baby steps. So we'll kind of have a goal for you each week of what you could accomplish this week to move forward. A lot of our chats are going to be sometimes, if you're not a senior, you wouldn't be using this information this year, but knowing it is going to help you move through and be ready for that. And then we'll also, a lot of the stuff that we're going to do is going to be, helping you sort through and find what things you might be interested in for careers, post-high school type stuff. So it's going to be really relevant to everybody. So what we want to cover today is the FAFSA opened, and we're going to cover today just what you would need to do to fill out the FAFSA. Now, even if you're not planning on going to college, this is what I tell all of my students and my own kids is you just want to keep every option open, because the moment that you start your senior year till the day you graduate your senior year, a lot of things happen during that time. And so what we want to do is just make sure that no matter what you end up deciding to do, we have you covered and you have every option open to you. And so even if you don't think you're going to go to college, we encourage everybody to fill out the FAFSA so that you have that option should you decide that you want it come June. So we're going to jump into some slides that Carla has prepared. And what's really cool is that the high school seniors at Hidden Valley get this information straight from Carla at school. But sometimes as parents, we don't really know what our kids are getting. And our kids don't even always connect to what they're getting, right? I've mentored lots of students that have no clue what FAFSA is, even though they were in the class that the FAFSA was presented, because there's so many things going on. And now we're in this digital world, which makes it, even a little bit more of a challenge. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring up a couple of things. I'm going to let Carla talk about them. And, this is going to be a lot faster of what she does for the classes is like 3 days of work with the kids, but that way you'll know and you'll kind of know where to go. So Carla, I'm going to pull up this Oregon Goes to College website, since this is the first thing that's on your agenda here. And we're just going to quickly show you guys a few different websites that can be very helpful to your family, and just super brief. If you want to pull them up, you'll know what those look like.
So this Oregon Goes to College website is good for any student 9th through 12th grade. It asks you exactly what grade you're in, what month, and there's step-by-step things that the students can do that go month by month. This It's a Plan is what the seniors are going to be downloading, hopefully into an app on their phone. I would suggest even in the spring that juniors download it, because any username and passwords, it has an excellent area for username and passwords. Every time you apply to college, you have to make a new username and password. Every time you fill out your FAFSA, there's a new username and password. Every time for the Oregon Promise, a new username and password. Every time you do scholarships. So this It's a Plan app that is for the phones is the best one that I've seen over all the years of doing Aspire and helping kids figure out what they want to do after high school. I know it says Oregon Goes to College, but Oregon considers any program after high school where you'd be learning they just use the word college. So it could be somebody going into an apprenticeship or somebody going into the military. All of those are considered college. So on this website, there'll be a place for students and a place for parents. And it'll ask you, are you a student? Are you a parent? What grade are you in? And it'll give you checklists of what you should be doing and where you should be. So I really like this, and the app is what I want all the students to download. After they download this, then we're going to go into the FAFSA. And in order to do the FAFSA, you have to have a FAFSA ID created. Now, not everyone will do the FAFSA. Some students might need to do the ORSA. It depends on whether or not you're documented here in Oregon, in the United States, whether or not you have a Social Security number. So if you're questioning it at all, there is a FAFSA ORSA comparison guide, so you can tell exactly. It asks you a few questions. It'll tell you what you need to do. But creating the FAFSA ID is the first step to doing the FAFSA. All of this information that you're going to be putting in, you're going to use every single year. So you're going to want to keep track of this. So I have created a flyer that will be part of this towards the end, that you can put in all of the information that you need to create your FAFSA ID. Once you create your FAFSA ID, I have heard the students who have done it this last week were able to go straight in and complete the FAFSA. The student has to make a FAFSA ID for a username and password, and the parents also need to do one for a username and password. And it's really just one parent. If it's a 2-parent home, no divorce, same parents, they file taxes together, it's pretty straightforward and one parent can do it. If it's a divorce situation or a separated situation, then it goes by who does the student live with the most. So there's literally 365 days of the year. So who provides the most care and who does that student live with the most? And it could be 50% custody, but there's 365 days in a year. So somebody has them one more day than anybody else. than the other person. The other part of that is it doesn't matter who claims the student on their taxes for a tax deduction. It goes by who's providing the most care and who does the student live with. And that's who's going to be applying for the FAFSA. If you have questions about that, reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you. When you create the FAFSA ID, you can then go straight into the FAFSA. I suggest that if you write down your username and passwords and all of the trick questions that they're going to ask you, you make a copy of that, and also keep it somewhere where you keep your safe papers, because you're not going to use it again until next year, but you'll do it every year that the student wants to be involved in whatever it is after high school. And some students have taken pictures of it and then they have it with them on their phone. That's absolutely fine too. Students need to learn their social security numbers. If they don't have them learned to memory, you need to have that right away. So that's something that a student should be working on. They're going to start using it quite a bit. And so if you have any questions about that, I'm glad to help you on that as well. But a student should know their social security number, and they should not carry the card in their wallet. They should memorize it. If they carry the card in their wallet, it could be stolen. We don't want that. And quite frankly, the only time they actually need the card is when they go for a job and they have to provide the social security card so they can complete the I-9 and get hired. Other than that, it's all by memory, writing it down. So filling out the FAFSA, Lisa's going here, that's perfect. If you have a question, do you fill out the FAFSA or do you fill out the ORSA? This will answer it perfectly for you. And then it'll take you to the correct FAFSA login. If you get to a place on the FAFSA login where it says, and now we're going to charge you $75, you have logged in to one of the for-profit companies that are exploiting this, and they're going to take all your information and your $75, and they're going to fill out the FAFSA for you, which is the exact same thing you did on their website. You don't want to end up there. And because it is such a big scam, we've taken you here so that if you're filling out the FAFSA, you go right exactly to FAFSA. If you're filling out the ORSA, you'll go straight to where you have to fill out the ORSA. And so that's excellent. It's OregonStudentAid.gov.
Carla, is it not true also that you can kind of know you're in the right place if it's .gov?
Yes.
Because,
yes. Do not do .org. You'll end up in the paid place.
Right, because it does not cost you to apply for FAFSA. So
yes.
Perfect. And I know when I just helped my son's a senior in college this year, my oldest, and you have to do the FAFSA every year through college. And I just finished, once you, the parent and the child both have the FAFSA ID, either one of you can go and fill it all out. So both of you don't have to fill it out, but you both have to sign at the end. That's why you have to both have your IDs. And so I just went in and I was able to, once you get to the income information too, there's a button you can click and it will link straight to the IRS and pull your taxes. And so makes it super easy. Like there's hardly anything to fill out. And I did CADES this year in like 20 minutes, which I'm finally seasoned at the FAFSA. So don't get frustrated. Carla and I, are both great at answering our phones and texts if you get held up on something, but that is why you both need to have the login information, parent and student. So,
and free application for federal student aid. So free.
Yeah. And so what happens then when they get your FAFSA, which I think is important, is then, that you'll get, once you figure out, what schools you're going to be applying to, which you select inside the FAFSA, you pick schools, and you can put 10 on there. And I always encourage the kids to put 10 on because why not? And then what happens is if you end up applying to those schools, which we'll cover at another time, then you'll get back from the government what aid they're going to offer you to go to that institution. And you can go in there and change it too. Like you can take a school off, you can add a school back on. So nothing's permanent in what you do there. So don't worry about that. Don't let hold you up from getting it submitted. You want to go ahead and get it in so that you can have it before the deadline, which Carla, you probably know what that is off the top of your head.
Well, it depends on what the school, if you're using it for a school, the deadline is actually whatever deadline the school has for applying. And right now, schools are applying for their honors colleges and for early applications. Most deadlines are January 15th, so you do have until January 15th to apply. I would suggest applying early. The earlier the better, just in case there's anything that needs clarifications. Mm-hmm. If you qualify for free and reduced lunch, you can actually, in the state of Oregon, you can actually end up with over 6,000 in Pell. And if you go to a four-year college, another 3,600 in Oregon Opportunity Grant. So it's likely that a student would earn $9,000 that they do not have to pay back using the FAFSA. But let's say you don't qualify for any free or reduced lunch. Why should you do the FAFSA? Well, the Oregon Opportunity Grant for community colleges require you to complete the FAFSA, and the Oregon Promise, the Oregon Promise is what's required for the FAFSA, and students can get either, if they qualify for free and reduced lunch, they can get paid to go to any community college in the state of Oregon. If they don't qualify for anything, it's more likely that they're going to get it will cost them to go to any community college in the state of Oregon, approximately $400 a term, and plus the books, the cost of the books. But by completing the FAFSA and the Oregon Promise application, that will allow them to have the almost free community college for 2 years. So it's definitely worth it to do the FAFSA. Even if you don't qualify for anything, it lets the school know that, hey, this student needs merit scholarships because they don't qualify for financial aid.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about Oregon Promise next week. And then we'll also be covering, things like work study and a lot of other ways and paying for college. We'll work on that at another time as well. But that kind of gets you through the FAFSA. And I have a really nice sheet. So all you got to do is ask for it, and we can get you the sheet that Carla was talking about that helps walk you through filling out your FAFSA. And we just want to give you some baby steps. So that's your goal for this week, is just fill out the FAFSA. If you're a senior in high school or you're a college student currently, now's the time to get the FAFSA filled out. And I'll tell you, our income has changed a lot through the last 4 years. And there's been years that we've gotten really good funding, years we haven't gotten as good of funding. But it's definitely always provided us with some kind of help from all of the different avenues that we're going to present to you. So it's pretty cool. So Carla, can you give them a quick update on SAT tests and ACT tests?
Oh, yes. I'm so excited to say that right now and this year and next year, most of the colleges in the state of Oregon have gone what they call college test blind. And test blind means they're not looking at your test scores for anything, not for admittance and not for academic scholarships. The only one, with the exception, the only one that I found that is still using it for scholarships is Western Oregon University. All the other state colleges that I've talked to, and most of the private colleges that I've talked to, have totally gone test blind in the state of Oregon. If you want to go to a college outside the state, you should check with that college. Right now, SATs, they're not even happening because of COVID. And so there is no reason to try and improve your score or do anything, because it just isn't going to happen. Now, I will tell you, be very careful. SAT will allow you to sign up to take a test, but they will also allow you to postpone that test, and they'll let you keep postponing that test. You have to log on and find out. So if you say, oh, but they're letting me sign up, yes, they're going to let you sign up, and then you're supposed to forward it to the next available date and forward it to the next available date. Is as a senior, if a senior can't get it done by December, there's no purpose in doing it. And there are no tests right now. Nobody's doing tests.
Yeah.
So
if your kid's not a senior, or you're a student on here and you're not a senior, just we'll keep you posted on that. But I really don't, I see it as something that's been needing to change for a long time, and they're gonna look at you as a whole. They're gonna look at the classes you choose to take in high school, the grades that you get, the attendance that you have in high school, and the things that make you a real well-rounded student in person, instead of just one day's test scores, which is really exciting.
yes.
So I think that's amazing. So, okay, so that takes that off my list. I want to talk about some of the things we have coming up for you guys as far as what we want to be talking about. I am working on a student who, gosh, I think he's 2 years out of high school, and he went straight into an apprenticeship to become, I can't remember if it was an electrician or a plumber, but I'm going to have him on as a guest speaker, and he's just going to share with you what his journey looked like, so we can get a little insight into, if you wanted to go into the trades, some of that information. I also have the past principal of Hidden Valley has worked with RCC and is now the principal at Central High School in Medford. Dave Stone is lined up to share with you guys on certificate programs and some of the amazing opportunities we have right here in the Valley for students to leave high school, start getting paid a family wage job salary, while that company puts you through a certificate program. So there's some pretty exciting things happening right here in the Valley for those kinds of things. We'll go through and we'll have a chat on college and applying for colleges for the kids who know they want to be college bound. We'll go deeper into some of the trades. And I also have a couple other things lined up as far as just some people that I'm going to have on here to share with you guys just in what their journey in their life look like. I mean, Carla Carter sitting right here. Hopefully she'll be one of those people throughout the year that just shares her incredible life experiences through multiple different careers. Heather's on tonight, and I know she's a great businesswoman and raising a family, right? And so we're going to be able to have some personal little stories for you too, because I feel like the easiest way to find a direction that you want to go in is oftentimes being in contact with somebody who's had some of the same ideas as you, or just get inspired by other people's stories. So I think those are really powerful. So we'll have some of that for you guys as well. I'm a huge quote person, so I'll always have a couple of quotes for you. Here's one I love. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe. And those are some of the things that our mentors are really great at with the students, is being like that separate person from the parents who, you know, it's a little bit stressful being a parent, and what is my kid going to do? And I know the school community doesn't try to, but their goal is to get you graduated and move you on. So it's like, and so then your Aspire mentor can come, I feel like, and really just kind of scoop you up and be like, guess what? It's okay. We're going to do it step by step. If the decision you end up making isn't the one you want, you just make a new one. It's okay if you don't know. And so I feel like we do a great job of just kind of, wrapping that all up into somebody on the side that can just listen, answer some questions, help point you in the right direction to find your own way. So I think that's a huge positiveness of Aspire mentors. I had another couple of, so that reminds me of this one. It says, listening is often the only thing needed to help someone. So to the students that are listening to this, if you haven't reached out to your mentor, or you haven't actually joined the Aspire program, please do, because you have adults here that don't have all the answers, but you don't need all the answers. You just need somebody to listen and help you guide you through. And also to somebody who might be thinking of mentoring, but don't really feel like they're cut out for it. I didn't go to college. I started mentoring when my oldest son was a sophomore because I felt completely clueless, and it was really scary to me to think of something in his life that I had no way of helping him with. And so I just started, and I literally still to this day don't know the answers, but I am great at listening and helping find the answers that the kids need. So
Lisa,
yes,
we're going to talk about the Hidden Valley Facebook page, so
yes.
everybody
So I'm going to bring that up for you
and gets connected. And we were going to plug the apprenticeship Zoom meeting that the Oregon Department of WorkSource Oregon has developed with local apprenticeships people from here in the Valley. If you think you want to do a trade, this is a wonderful Zoom meeting for you. And then they're going to break out whether you want to do HVAC or plumbing or electrical. So they're all going to meet and talk about what it takes to become a tradesperson. And then they're going to break out into meetings and talk about exactly what it would take for you to have that job. And this is the first time they've ever done it. It's pretty exciting.
And Carla, is there a link to that?
There's a,
is it on this Facebook?
It is not on Facebook, but it should be. I'll make sure that he has it. And I emailed it this afternoon. So it is.
Okay, let me bring up my Gmail.
Yeah, sorry.
I want to show you guys exactly what she's talking about, because I think it's so hugely valuable that, did you send it to my Lisa J. Kissel?
I did, I believe.
Okay, here's my stuff you gave me. So this is
I sent you a bunch of stuff. There's
careers and construction.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, here it is. So it's October 21st, 9 to 10:30 a.m. And just like you got, well, if you're on Zoom, you just copy and paste this right into your browser, and it's going to pop up your Zoom, and then you're going to enter this passcode to join the meeting. And here's a little bit of a rundown. And I'll post this video to my Facebook. We'll get it posted to that HV Facebook. And then we'll also post this flyer. I'll snip a picture of this flyer and post it in the comments section as well. And that will be huge. And possibly they're going to record this too, if that time is a terrible time for you. But wow, what an exciting opportunity.
And if you need to get excused from the first half an hour or 15 minutes of class, just let me know.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And so back to this Hidden Valley page, Carla, they don't have to be a student to.
No, absolutely not.
Right. So it doesn't matter where you're affiliated with, because I know a lot of my personal friends need this information. So you can like this page, and we're going to work hard at keeping, you're going to have stuff that's not pertinent to you on here because it's Mustang stuff, but we'll also get our stuff posted here for you.
Anyone can come to any of those college virtual tours.
Yeah. Okay. And a couple other, the other thing that's available to you is this Aspire Oregon website. And so it's just aspireoregon.org. And so this is the, where we're affiliated with is Aspire, but there's a lot of really good information here on this site for you as well. Okay. So Carla, did we cover everything?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So a couple of the handouts.
Thank you guys.
Right. So if you want handouts, all you got to do is just reach out. You can message me or Carla. My number is 541-659-8456. And Carla, I don't know if you want to put your phone number on here or not, but you're welcome to.
Sure. Okay. 541-218-3121.
And we will see you guys. We're going to do the 26th of October at 5:30 is our next chat, and we'll be filling out the Oregon Promise. That'll be your goal for the week. And we'll always stick in a few extras, but that's going to be our main focus. So thanks for being here tonight, and enjoy.
Happy FAFSA.
Bye.